My name is Mark Fratto, and I'm the voice of the Washington Commanders at FedEx Field. You're listening to the Command This podcast with Steve, Dev, and Phil.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. It is October 19th, Thursday. It's time for our weekly preview live stream. I'm your boy, Steve. We got Phil and we got Dev down in the corner. And helping us to do that today, look what he has on his fingers there.
Rings.
What?
We have none
Like
other than Mr.
1990.
Mike Vivalo, Team Vivalo, joining us to help break down the upcoming Giants game. Mike, how you doing, man? It's been about almost 2 years, man.
Hey guys, I appreciate the invite. It's been an interesting couple of weeks, months here for the Giants. I'll lay it. I'll be all up front with you and be open and honest about what I'm thinking. But
yeah, let's do. I love those replica rings, by the way.
Okay, well, who's talking replica?
Oh, you got the real deals.
Nah. I will tell you a funny story though about one though, if you want to hear it.
Yes, let's go.
We'll start off early. So I will keep the player unnamed because I don't want to do that. But we had a player do an appearance, and I was like, hey man, all you gotta do is come, take some pictures, sign some autographs, flash your ring, and you're good. He's like, all right, cool. He calls me back like 10 minutes later. He's like, I'm not gonna have my ring. I'm like, okay, because he's traveling. I was like, all right. Turns out, unfortunately, he had to sell his ring.
No.
So I'm like, shit. Now I have these replica rings. So I'm like, yo, do I give this dude for the appearance? Do I give him one of the replica ring of the ring that he won, and so he can take pictures with it and stuff like that? I was like, nah, I can't do that. Like, when I went through my head, I was like, should I give this guy like a fake ring to pretend like?
So you didn't even offer it, did you?
I didn't. I don't want to embarrass anybody.
But that's cool. I've heard that's not that story, but you've heard stories of people selling the rings in the past when they're hard up for whatever, and they bring a pretty penny.
Dude, these rings now are bananas. These team rings.
That's
like
insane.
This is the 86 one. You guys remember that NFC Championship game, right?
86 for the Sims.
Oh man. Right? So
I remembers every minute of it.
But like this is like nothing. It was like the first Lombardi, so it's one trophy, it's like one diamond, and then you get up to the 46 ring, and it's like ridiculous.
Was that the helmet catch game?
Now, helmet catch this is the 42.
No, that was the Mario Manningham catch game.
Okay.
This is Manningham. Yeah, the 46 is Manningham, the fourth ring, the fourth Lombardi, and then this is 42.
That's the David Tyree one.
Yeah. And then
he's got the Jeff Hostetler one.
OJ. Well, Hostetler was the quarterback, but OJ Anderson, my boy, was the MVP. And this is Sims, who Sims went like.
It's Dave Meggett squad.
Accurate for the only time in his career.
Sims went like 20.
Hey,
I want to say it was like 22.
Sims is a Louisville guy, man.
25.
This is Sims, the Louisville guy, man.
Oh, I love this conversation. Let's just talk about more Giants Super Bowl history. That's what we're doing. I like how I curved it right there.
That's right. So it's been a while since you've been on the show. Let's just real quick. Can you give everyone like you remember last time, like talk about people, their histories or origins of being a fan. Real quick, just how did you become a Giants fan? What made you become a fan of the Big Blue?
It was my friends. A lot of people say like I'm a Yankee fan also, just as big a Yankee fan. And my dad was all in Yankees, grew up in the Bronx. So I was like big Yankees growing up, big baseball. Never really big Super Bowl until OJ did his thing. Because I was like 6 years old. So this one didn't really register. But when OJ did his thing when I was 10 and these guys won this one, that was like, oh crap. All right, I'm a Giant fan now because my whole place is Giant fan. So this is what it really was. And it's amazing how OJ Anderson happens to be like a friend of mine now because of in my adult life and thinking back, like, dude, he was like my hero when I was 10, 11 years old.
Awesome.
And then of course, like, just like friends watching like Giants, we wouldn't even really get together like it is now. Like right now, my kids, the way I raise my kids, we're like, do not schedule anything on Sunday.
Sundays.
Nothing's happening on Sunday at all. we're like fully on football, all different types of stuff. We weren't like that. I wasn't like that growing up with my dad. But then by the time I got like to high school, we realized it. But I was never a super duper young. Never even went to Giant games. But then I just fell in love with it as we got older, and like football itself became bigger than right. Like the NFL did great with marketing and fan whatever. Then I just rolled with it, man.
Yeah, that's what's up. And so you're a Yankees fan, a Giants fan. Are you a Knicks fan?
Knicks Rangers, yeah.
Knicks
I'm
Rangers.
like the
New York purist.
I'm a Knicks fan.
Dev is also a Knicks fan in Kentucky.
And a Yankees fan.
There we go.
Yeah,
he's halfway converted. Phil and I are DC.
Never been.
Steve and I are DC to death, and some years it's definitely an early death.
Yeah, we had our preseason game against each other yesterday. Wiz and Knicks.
Wizards were not missing.
Jordan Poole, he might be good. Not getting my hopes up.
Wizards were not missing, and I don't know if you guys watched it.
I watched a lot of it. Watched the three.
I watched the whole game. I was depressed. I started off talking trash to Steve.
It's preseason, man.
About how terrible the Wizards were. And
I should have get scores
40 points in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's what he does.
What was the last? I'm assuming I'm not a big hockey fan, but the Capitals won recently.
Yeah,
that's the last spring down there, right?
18 or 19. 18. There we go. And then the Nationals won it in 19. And then we had COVID. Couldn't celebrate any of the national stuff. So, yep. Our buddy Yam joined us from Japan. Said, my memory is shit. I barely remember things from the history of our own team. Y'all remember other teams too. Yeah, that's right. That's right. The Yam is also a DC homer. Follows local teams to a fault, as it should be, but it's tough.
I'm not from DC, Yam. I seen this comment there.
Dev's not from anywhere they have pro teams.
We don't have pro teams, so I can go where I want. Yeah. But we run college, so
college is life down there. Yeah. Our buddy Marcus joined us. Marcus Edlin. Make sure you go follow him on Facebook, Sports View 2, big old sports group sharing everyone's content. So please go.
Marcus also a Knicks fan, by the way.
Marcus is the hardest working man on Facebook.
Sorry, made you a little bit bigger, Mike, so we can get into the environment here. Yes, we'll just break right into it. So we talked about your origin story as a fan and stuff, and tell us about these 2023 Giants. We know who they were in 2022. Team made a late run. We had a very emotionally damaging game for us at the end of last year. If you remember the Curtis Samuel hold, that really, it still hurts us to this day. But so far we're kind of on two different wavelengths this year going into the season. We're 3-3, you guys are 1-5. And, just in your opinion, tell us who these 2023 Giants are, man.
Man, you're really going to make me say it, huh? We the one word that can the one word I'll lead with is unprepared. These Giants were unprepared. So guys like us, fans of teams like us who go to spring training camp. I go to training camp. Like, we are on training camp for the last couple of months. I was writing, covering the Giants for a site called heavy.com, Heavy on Giants.
Yep.
I was doing some contracted writing with them while they got their stuff together. So I was really heavy into watching preseason and battles for position battles in this. And we were so enamored with the Giants having won a playoff game and thinking, all right, well, the natural progression is to do that again, or not, if not better. We didn't stop to see that potentially training camp was a country club, and it wasn't a hard-nosed training camp. The biggest storyline coming out of training camp, no one was hurt. But
which is a good thing for the most part.
Because we didn't freaking play, and we weren't prepared, and we didn't have these guys ready, and we come out so unprepared against Dallas in the most embarrassing game of our lives and get just absolutely embarrassed on opening Sunday Night Football. And we're like, wait a second, we got to take a complete step back here, unprepared. And then that's the thing I would say. We were unprepared. I do blame the coaches, of course. But then to go even further about the unprepared coaches, did you know what offensive line you had? Did you know what was happening on the offensive line? Did you see that? Or was it also because they weren't playing hard and you didn't have them in there that now we're in week 7 and we're going on our 6 different offensive line in 7 weeks? And besides your boy, which we'll get to, we have the most sacked quarterback in the league. But we missed last week. He didn't play last week, so he probably would have been the most sacked quarterback in the league this week if he actually played last week. So unprepared on all sides of facets of the game. That's what we are. Straight up, we can dive as deep as this into you want into everything, but I think that kind of is the theme.
Yeah, that's fair. I guess my thing is, you guys have had 4 primetime games out of 6, right, to start the season.
The Giants always have, I think, in the NFL scheduling world, 5 is the max primetime. The Giants always have 4 or 5, just the nature of the. And I'm sure Dallas
front loaded, kind of usually.
I'm sure Kansas City also has them, but and then that's the second part of this whole equation is that our schedule has been bananas. Which you guys are playing a similar schedule, but our schedule has been bananas, right? I mean, Dallas, they're explosive, even though they're up and down. Seattle looks legitimate, playoff worthy. KC, Buffalo, Miami. Those are our losses, and then Arizona's our Jesus come from behind win. But that's a crazy schedule. I mean, like, I don't think there's many teams in the league that are going to be more than 1-5 against that schedule.
Yeah.
So that's a whole other thing. Strength of schedule. And by the way, going forward, hardest strength of schedule as well. The next 12 weeks or whatever it is. 11.
You know who has the second hardest strength of schedule?
I'm sure. Well, you're the same division. It's the same thing. We're doing the same thing. We're playing against the same, conferences. So yeah. Who refresh my memory, guys? Who are your wins and losses?
So we started the season beating Arizona 20-16.
Escaping Arizona.
We came way back to beat the Denver Broncos. 35-33. Okay. We got trounced by Buffalo 37-3. We lost to the Eagles in overtime, which we had a big lead that we blew.
You blew that one.
34-31. Got trounced by the Bears on Thursday Night Football 40-20. And then we had won the game pretty, not say handily, but 24-16 versus Atlanta, who has a surprising
control of that game.
So we're sitting at 3-3 right now.
Right. Okay. By also giving up the most sacks. So
it's 29. I don't know what it is now. Could be
30, 34. Anytime you give up that many sacks, you could lose any week.
Yep.
Yeah. So that sounds easier than our first 6 games to me. But
I think it is.
But
you guys were in the
gauntlet. Denver,
the Philly game is the one that throws everything off.
Denver's the worst team.
Yeah. We got it on the back end. So
the Bears are pretty shitty. They beat us, but they're pretty terrible.
That was a weird game, that Thursday night game. Thursday night games are weird.
Yeah, he had 285 yards passing and 230 went to one guy.
Yeah, DJ Moore.
DJ Moore came out insane.
Maryland dudes when they come back to Maryland.
Yeah. The end of our schedule, Mike. Cowboys, Dolphins, bye. Rams, Jets, Niners, Cowboys. That's the last 7 weeks. That's going to be insane.
Rams, Jets, Niners, Cowboys.
Yes, Giants, Cowboys, Dolphins, bye. Rams, Jets, Niners, Cowboys. So it's a tough way to end the season out of
now. Obviously, you think you'll be fighting for a wild card. So the Niners game will be most likely, uneventful. Niners won't care. They'll be sitting. That's good.
Yeah,
and then the Cowboys might be. That might be like a wild card. That might be an NFC wild card, like playing game.
Yeah,
could be.
You know, McCaffrey's going to go down, man. That guy don't last.
Oh yeah, of course. Everyone's going to go down. No one's safe. No one is safe, fellas.
Josh Butcher from Facebook, thank you for tuning in. Says I don't like Thursday games. You're right. They're weird. You don't know what's going to happen. Now they're on Amazon Prime, which is kind of cool. I guess. The
weirdest thing though is like usually they're shitty, and then you got your game when the Bears come out looking like world beaters all of a sudden, and
that's what we do.
It's the opposite. it's crazy.
Real quick, just want to go down some of the numbers here for the Giants. We'll change these.
4 rings. We'll start with that number.
4 rings. Just take a look at some of the metrics here as we were talking earlier. Excuse me. So we did the win and losses.
Hold on. I'm taking another drink. Hold on.
Yeah, there you go. I'm drinking too. So you went through the wins and losses 1 and 5. I think the offense, like you said earlier, is having a rough go getting ready. I did watch the game versus the Bills, which was a great game. I'm not saying Tyrod Taylor was by any means fantastic, but it seemed like the offense was a little more fluid. It seemed like you could see like, oh, wow, these guys have some pretty talented receivers if they can get the ball in stride. I don't know what changed, or the offensive line just blocked better. I don't know what it was, but it seemed a
There was
little bit more
nothing, dude.
functional.
We haven't scored a touchdown in 205 minutes.
Okay, maybe yeah. You're I trust you.
You're on the goal line twice.
Yeah.
All we had to do was kick 2 more All-Pro Graham Gano field goals to get to 15, and we would have won the game. We still didn't do that. So
clock ran out at halftime. Checked into a run. I saw that
God,
run. Yeah.
Oh God, did
we
I
had
didn't bring enough booze up here for me for this conversation.
Just running through the metrics here real quick. For total points scored, 32nd in the league. Defense, 28th in the league. We'll just leave it at that. And then look keying in some of the key players. Daniel Jones, like you said, oh my gosh, what is my computer doing? He is injured at the moment. It's a neck injury, which we'll talk about here in a little bit. He is having a rough go to start the season, is he not?
So it's so annoying because the majority of the loud people, whether it be Twitter or people I run into at the, whatever, on the flag football field with my little kids, because I'm the Giants. I have to be the Giants every year, my kids' teams. Yeah. And everyone, I'm very open with my outspoken fandom, so I have to have these conversations all the time. Yeah. And for the not you guys, but like for the person who's like the casual fan, Daniel Jones is the focus of everyone, right?
It is.
Saquon's not in there, but the dude is running for his life.
Yeah,
and he's regressed in he's scared. His progressions are bad. He wants to get the ball out so much he stares down receivers. He has regressed. I said progress. He's regressed because of just the fact that he's running for his life. So it goes to show that how he's, he needs to be a little quicker. And Tyrod Taylor was quicker he's more veteran. He had a more veteran game. He got the ball out quicker. He's playing with Justin Pugh, who was literally where we are sitting last week, and now he's playing left tackle.
I loved his intro, by the way, during
How sick was that?
Justin Pugh off the couch.
And the dude moves by the first quarter, he's moving a left tackle, and what do you know? Tyrod Taylor is getting the ball out half a second faster on average than Daniel Jones. Yeah. They're not moving the ball, don't get me, but they're not turning it over, right? They're letting their defense, who's having a great game, do it. So I have to deal with these conversations, and I can't go any deeper than that with like a soccer mom on the sideline. Right. So I got to vent to you guys.
But with this line, did it swap out? Is it a new line? Like what changed between 2022 and 2023?
Injuries.
Okay.
Injuries. So, we paid Andrew Thomas, who was our franchise left tackle. He goes down in week 1 chasing after a interception return.
Yep.
He goes down. He's running. God bless him. But there you go. There's your unpreparedness. This is week 1. This dude thinks he's a competitor. He's chasing down a DB who just picked up a ball on the other side of the field, 50 yards. He tweaks his hammy. He comes out. They check him. He goes and he plays for the next 30 snaps with the hammy injury from the first quarter play, and he makes it worse. And now he's been out ever since. So we lost our franchise left tackle. You think that's a big deal? Pretty big. Yeah. 2 weeks ago, we drafted a center in the second round. John Michael Smith has been phenomenal, rookie center. Neck injury. Oh, by the way, note that neck injury was on, guys. We're the only unsuccessful push, whatever push thing for Daniel Jones to try to get like a first down on it. We didn't get it. Our center and our guard gets hurt because we haven't practiced it because we were unprepared because we didn't do it. And They admit in the press conference they never practiced that play, but let's do it. And there goes your first round draft pick, second round draft pick center rookie who's been solidifying your O-line. He's out. Right. So we lost those 2 guys, and we have random injuries on the rest of the line. Oh, guess what? Who's the number 1 rated pass blocker on our team? Saquon Barkley. He goes out in week 2. So now he can't protect the quarterback. So,
multitude of injuries.
Yeah, and then it just snowballs into unprepared players playing unprepared positions. Daniel Jones being scared, getting his neck wrangled for like 11 sacks against the Niners.
Yeah.
And here we are, 1-5.
Yeah. Phil, you probably remember this. I think it was 2016 or 17. I think we led the league in NFL offensive line combinations a year very similar, where I think we also led the league in people on IR that year. It was like 30 something or no, some crazy number. I think we had some ungodly number of offensive line combinations
that went on injured reserve.
Yeah. I think we had 2 guys come from couch to game that season. And you're right. I think
one of them was quarterback, wasn't it? One of them was quarterback.
Yeah, that was we went through 3 quarters.
Franchise
2019.
There we go. 2019.
No. I take that back.
I don't remember. It was terrible.
Sanchez played. Everybody played.
We went back-to-back years setting NFL highs for most players on injury reserve. So
yeah,
that's crazy.
We understand your pain, Mike. We really
do. And you know what? You guys, this is all for the fantasy people out there. The whole world gets injured every week.
Yeah.
And I've never seen anything like this. So you got to be prepared. You got to have depth like crazy.
Yep.
I don't know. And to be honest, let's cut right to the chase. I think the Giants beat the Commanders.
No, we'll lock those predictions. We'll lock those predictions here.
We'll talk about that in a few.
I know.
Yeah, it's okay though. Shout out to Slim.
Just to put it all in perspective, how many games so far have you had the Giants winning?
Well, that's a very good question because we said, I'm trying to think back now, like 2 months ago, like when we did like the win-loss-win. I'm like, if we get out of this 3-3, we'll be ecstatic.
Yeah.
Right. Then when we saw what Miami was doing, we're like, oh crap, we got to go down to Miami. If we get out of this by beating Seattle and getting through the 6-game stretch 2-4, we'll be okay because these teams are good, and let's just get our guys healthy because we're not supposed to beat the Niners, we're not supposed to beat Miami. Dallas crushed us, but we won that after that Arizona game. We're like, all right, we're 1-1. If we can get through this 3-3, if we can get here 2-4, we'll be okay. Then we had the Bills dead to rights basically, and we would have been out of that stretch 2-4, and had lost to Seattle, Dallas, San Francisco, Miami, like 4 of the
playoff worthy teams.
Yeah, right, like 4 Super Bowl contending teams.
Yeah,
so that we could have had some silver lining, but just the poor execution, the insane play before halftime of the Bills game.
Check.
Listen, there was if we want to get really technical, there was a hold on Darren. It was another pass interference hold on Darren Waller in the end zone of that last play of that game. I think you should just give it to Saquon when it's when it's goal to go on the 1 yard line. Just let him just will it in there.
Yeah, better chance doing that.
That's what I thought. It was a pass interference in the end zone. You have the ball on the 6-inch line. Yeah, and he's got Saquon Barkley.
They did get a pass interference to bring it down to the goal to the 1, didn't they? Right before the play prior, if I'm not mistaken. Couple bombs coming out of left field.
I hope you're not looking for sympathy on that one.
I'm not, but this is the way football goes. Like there's 2 calls a game that in a 1-score game.
Yeah.
That there's 1 or 2 calls that turn the tides, whether it be in the second quarter or whatever.
Right.
You can. It's just after last season. After last season, it kind of rings hollow with those of us who rock burgundy and gold.
No, but it should ring true because you probably had the same situations. You can look back at 2 plays that turn the tides of every game.
I'm talking about Terry being lined up incorrectly.
Oh, that whole thing.
And then right after
the
that,
year before. How about the year before when Dexter Lawrence was offsides on the field goal? How about that one?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
that. You could go back and forth with this.
Okay, play at this.
I think what lost y'all is not him not kicking that field goal at halftime. That was crazy.
Yeah.
Talking about dumbass calls, man. Like what? Yeah. What the fuck?
You see, I don't know why he checked into a run, and I understand it because that was Saquon's best performance of the year. He was running well. Yeah. But if you throw an incomplete pass, you still have 1 or 2 seconds left on the clock.
You got 3 plays.
It's not going to be a long developing play.
I would not expect Tyrod Taylor to do that move. I figured he'd have been smart enough and have the veteran wherewithal that, hey, I got time for 2 plays.
Tyrod Taylor was like, I'm setting black quarterbacks back 3 years.
I love Tyrod Taylor, man. Hokie Nation, stand up.
You can spike the ball, Tyrod, and then get the real play.
Yep. A couple
Good
shots
start
from
back
left
in the end
field with Slim says New York Giants is dog water, and it was coming. 45 million capitulation. I think it's 46. And I'm starting to see, Twitter's not a real space, right? Slim says drafted 2 top tackles, top 7 tackles, and need a third one. Yeah, the injuries, man, they bite you.
Pro Bowl tackles on
people on Twitter, X, whatever you call it, talking about, yeah, man, if we suck, if we are in the bottom of the league sweepstakes, do we get one of these guys coming? Even though you just paid Daniel Jones, do you try to move him and get like a Caleb Williams or a Penix or those high breed quarterbacks coming out of college? I think it's kind of crazy at the moment. Would you say so? Or would you be, if you guys, let's just say you guys finish really, really, really bad, bottom of the league, you're picking top 3. Do you go all out for that guy, or you stick with Daniel Jones and get like?
Do you start selling if you got 1 and 6?
Yes to everything.
Yes to everything. Okay, so no one is safe. No one is safe.
So who's going to pick up Daniel Jones's contract? You're going to eat some of that contract.
So Jets would.
100 million guaranteed. 40 is gone this year. So he's owed 60 million guaranteed. That's peanuts in quarterback contract world. So and by the way, what about, first of all, if Caleb Williams happens to be the guy, because the other night against Notre Dame, he's still got to do his thing. He was making awesome NFL throws. He was making awesome NFL throws. If he goes through the whole season and it looks like he's still awesome first pick, or Drake May or whoever it may be, and the Giants happen to be, because the other team is Carolina, right? Like Carolina is also terrible, but they're not going to draft a quarterback. Who?
Bears.
But are they going to draft a quarterback?
Yeah, for sure they will. For sure they would. Yeah.
If the Justin Fields experiment may or may not be over this year. It's the jury's still out, because he'll occasionally have a great game. You just wonder how much of his issue
if they're 1 or 2, they
versus
get
the rest of the team.
But do what they did. Didn't the Bears have the first pick and trade it and get all the haul?
They can do the whole Trubisky and Field. They did it twice.
They can do it again.
I would do it if I were them.
You can do it. Well, anyway, my point is this. Then draft Caleb Williams, have him duke it out with Daniel Jones. He might not even start, so you get your second year out of Jones, and you get Caleb Williams doing that freshman year, that rookie year, learning curve thing.
It's actually not a bad idea, Mike, because next year, if you cut him, it's 22 million dead cap. If you cut him the 25, like you're saying, it's only 11 million dead cap if you cut him,
because you paid him most of his.
That's actually not that. That's not that bad.
And then you get Caleb on his rookie thing, but he's a first round draft pick, so he's gonna be very expensive. He's the first pick overall. He'll be very expensive, but it'll be worth it. You got to see what these dudes, Josh Allen, what he did to us, even though I don't know how the defense was playing, how we were playing against the Bills that night. He was making throws, and even Tyrod Taylor was making throws. I'm like, Daniel Jones don't make these throws.
Yeah.
I watched the Notre Dame USC. I'm like, Caleb Williams making throws Daniel Jones can't make.
Yeah.
As a sophomore, whatever, he's a junior. Like Daniel Jones just don't make these throws because he's different. They're different. Yeah. Daniel Jones could be a successful quarterback in a different system with a great O-line and this, that, and the other thing. But like Patrick Mahomes is still going to be there making crazy plays with not the team that he had a couple years ago, right?
Yeah.
Quarterback is everything. So I do believe that they may, if the world thinks that Caleb Williams is this generational talent, then I see a world where we draft him. Yeah. At number 1.
You got 2 good wide receivers. Well, I think promising with Jalen Hyatt and Wan'Dale Robinson, who I watched close. I think they're like second and the third round. I'm not sure which one was which, but one was the second, one was the third, I think. Promising,
Wan'Dale was second. Hyatt was,
Hyatt. Is Wan'Dale going to play?
Wan'Dale's playing.
Yeah.
Wan'Dale's our best receiver, right?
I thought he was like injured on the list or some shit today.
What was the injury report in just a second?
No,
Marcus says, I'm wondering if Daboll will start Tyrod over Daniel Jones after his performance versus Buffalo Bills, assuming he's healthy. Like you said, he's got that neck. I don't think they've upgraded his status yet.
This comment, no, Daniel Jones was limited today, but that comment is all you need to know. After his performance, they scored 0 touchdowns. He did not know what to do with the ball on the goal line. They scored 9 points in the game. Oh, Rod Taylor's performance.
Yeah.
But
was not good.
But let's face it, Daniel Jones's performance has not been good either.
I'm saying that's the state. Daniel Jones is so bad.
I guess that summarizes.
Taylor game is considered his performance on Sunday night.
Yeah. Here's the injury report. A little bit hard to see. I apologize. Stupid advertisements. Okay. It's long. I'll just go over the DNPs and the limiteds for the audio crowd. Offensive lineman Matt Pert, shoulder, DNP. John Michael Schmitz, shoulder, DNP. Andrew Thomas, hamstring, DNP.
There
limited.
you go. That's 3 old linemen. Did not play Thursday.
They're all starters.
Yes.
Yeah. Saquon limited with an ankle. Graham Gano, left knee limited. Dory Jackson, DB limited. Daniel Jones, neck limited. Evan Neal, offensive lineman, ankle limited. So there you go.
Evan Neal hasn't played in 3 weeks.
For the Commanders, Kendall Fuller, cornerback, didn't participate in knee. I don't think he's going to play. I'm getting here reading some buzzed it.
No, he said it's maintenance.
He said he's going to play.
He's saying he's going to play.
Okay. John Allen, knee limited. Christian Holmes, backup DB limited. James Smith Williams, foot limited. So I guess we're doing okay on the health side so far. All others were full participants in practice today. So we are lucky to be on that end for once. Usually it's the opposite. So that's the injury report. Matchups to watch for. So we talked about a lot of the different Giants players. You know about our roster. So are there any specific matchups you're potentially looking for, whether it's DB on a receiver, lineman versus our D lineman, whatever?
Yeah, well, of course. So the thing, I think the most glaring thing is that our team, our quarterbacks, are the top 2 most sacked quarterbacks in the league. Yep. So we have 5 sacks this year, by the way, our defense.
As in total.
10 after Sunday.
As a team, 4 of them come from Kayvon Thibodeau. So apparently we can get to the QB. So look for Thibodeau to be watching tape and be moving to the side where he thinks he's going to be able to have the most success to do that.
That would be the right side.
Same thing in reverse, right? Because we get sacked all day long too. So I'm sure you're going to have Chase Young doing ugly stuff.
It's not even just Chase. It's always someone different every game. Chase has been consistent. He's been the most consistent of the defensive linemen this year. But Montez Sweat, you got even our backups got to get into it. Like Casey Toohill had 2 sacks last week. Playing part time. James Smith Williams, and then you have Deron Payne and John Allen in the middle.
Smith Williams going to play?
I'm sorry?
Smith Williams is fine?
Yes. Well, he was limited this week, wasn't he? Or is he
limited with a foot. It's just limited. We'll see. He's been depth anyways.
So I would say this. I would say that everyone's going to eat a little bit, most likely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thibodeau may come out of this game with 3 sacks.
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest X factor is that I think Sam Howell he's got some swag to him, and he lets it fly. So we have some rookie corners and Dory Jackson, who basically just underplays his contract anyway. He was limited today. We have some rookie corners that could potentially be exposed. With McLaurin and Logan Thomas, and we always give up a lot of plays to the tight ends. But Sam Howell is not afraid. He lets the thing fly. So that's another concern.
Yeah.
But if he just holds it just a hair too long, which I think is probably why he sacked so much.
Yep.
Then we'll have a different story. And we held Josh Allen. We held that Buffalo offense to 2 touchdowns, to 2 random guys.
Yeah.
There was no Diggs, there was no Gabe Davis, there was no random dudes. I don't even remember their names. Scored touchdowns. So that's the only way Giants are gonna stay in this.
Well,
if it's ugly.
What works in our favor in that case? What works in our favor in that case is that if you look at the stats, kind of bears this out. Sam doesn't rely on one receiver every game. He spreads the ball around, and a lot of people are like, he needs to just get the ball to Terry. Blah blah blah. I'm like, have you seen this guy's passing yardage? He gets the ball to whoever's open.
Obviously,
I mean, that's really the name of the game. Terry will get his in the end. Doesn't mean that it's going to be every single game he's going to go 7 for 120.
Right.
And that and people kind of understand is that a good quarterback finds the open man.
100%.
You know, and that's the one thing. You know, yeah, Sam does hold the ball a little too long. Stats kind of bared it out. Now I do think they kind of credit sacks to him trying to get out of harm's way to him, but
yeah, when there's a clean pocket and he steps up and doesn't make the throw or run, it's automatically credit to him. So I think of the 34 sacks, at least as of last game, he was sitting at like 14 just by himself. These are subjective statistics, but I think 13, 14 are credited to him. So
yeah.
Do you guys, you know, we've been dealing with this question for many years with Daniel Jones. Do you guys have Sam Howell as the guy? Like, are you bought in?
I do. Dev does not yet.
I gotta see more in 6 games, bro.
Yeah.
I hope he's a guy. I'm not rooting for him not to be. I love Hal, man. I think he's got all the makings of the guy, man.
He's played 7 games.
7 games. Played
7 games if you count the one he played last year.
6 turnovers.
He has thrown for more yards than any quarterback in franchise history in his first 7 games.
He's also averaging 1 interception a game almost. And he also
it's also 2023 where you pass the ball like crazy.
Yeah, I get it.
Is, but you gotta think that there's guys
55 times
that are all, you know, you're talking about guys who are, you know, greats and or Hall of Famers. You know, Sonny Jurgensen's on that list. You know, first 7 games with us, and he wasn't even he was a veteran at that point, and he was smashing league records back then. Nope, way ahead of that. You know, he's ahead of RG3, he's ahead of Kirk Cousins, ahead of all these guys in the past.
None of these guys are guys I would consider franchise quarterbacks. Maybe Kirk now. Obviously.
I get what you're saying. I mean, it sounds like also there's been a lot of need to pass, like a lot of you know, playing from behind a little bit.
It's not even so much. It's not even just need. It's just that's what Bieniemy does. He doesn't like to run the ball.
Mike, he did 55 straight dropbacks between I think it was over the Bears game.
It was 51 straight against the Bears.
And well, that's why, because you were losing the whole time.
Yeah, but I mean,
still could have made it. But this was when the lead was still respectable. I don't know.
We ran the ball 10 times against the Bears. 4 of them were Sam Howell scrambling.
And I love Brian Robinson.
I wish he would run the ball more. I wish I would keep some of those read options more.
Yeah.
You know, a la Tyrod Taylor.
How's Deontay Banks doing? I only asked that because he's a Maryland guy. You know, I live right down the street from University of Maryland. Kind of didn't say he was going to come to us, but we had our eye on him. You know, we ended up getting Emmanuel Forbes, but it was Forbes, Deontay Banks, and I think it was Brian Branch with the 3 DBs that were talked about. How is Banks doing?
And what's his name? Someone Junior.
Gonzalez.
Joey Porter Jr.
Joey Porter Jr.
Yeah, went to the Steelers, I think.
Yeah, first pick in the second round. Remember,
Gonzalez went to New England, right?
He did. Christian Gonzalez.
He looks great.
Yeah,
he got hurt though for the season.
Yeah,
he looks great.
Yeah, Banks does.
Yep, he looks great.
That's good. Good, always good to see. Local guys.
He absolutely. Besides, all of our rookies, our top 3 picks, look good until Smiths got hurt on the stupid brotherly shove tush push play, which they never practiced once, but they're going to make our center do it and hurt his neck, so he's out. Yeah. But he looked great and was already like gelling the O-line. But Banks was our first pick, and JMS was our second pick, and Hyatt was our third pick. So they all looked like great picks. Yeah, Banks looks good.
Marcus says Sam Howell's still growing as a quarterback, but he has all the tools to be a franchise quarterback. That's kind of how I feel too. He's made some great throws. Phil, any matchups you're looking for come Sunday, 1:00?
Come Sunday, I am looking forward to seeing what I hope is the case, because there's some hope that Bieniemy does the right thing here. Charles Leno and Cornelius Lucas against Kayvon Thibodeau, depending upon which side of the ball he's on. The reason why I say this, Leno's back. He came back this week. He didn't practice last week. He didn't play last week. We already talked about why on the last pod. He's back for this game. All right. Leno on one side. Leno's been, if you look at compared to the rest of the line, Leno's been a decent starter. Andrew Wiley has not. He has been by far the worst right tackle in the league. I can't think of anybody who's played worse. I know Wiley is, trust me. I know Wiley is Eric Bieniemy's guy, brought him in from Kansas City, and he has just been absolute dumpster juice. So that's why we saw Cornelius Lucas step in at left tackle for Leno and allowed no sacks and no pressures. And that was against guys like Grady Jarrett and Calais Campbell and people like that who can get to the quarterback. So let's move him over to the right side because he's a swing tackle. It goes both ways. And have him play in place of Wiley and see how that goes. Because if Thibodeau's matched up on Andrew Wiley, Sam Howell gets the joy of watching himself get sacked because that's his front side.
Well, it's gonna. I'll tell you guys. This is Thibodeau. Thibodeau doesn't. He doesn't. He's got a high motor, but he's not a very strong. He doesn't have a big punch or some kind of swing, or does the TJ Watt thing where they're almost sideways and get in there. That's not him, but he has a motor. So where he eats is when the quarterback holds it a little too long. So that is where this could get really interesting.
Which is why I want Cornelius Lucas in
here or there. That's his thing. He's more fast. He's less power rush, from the outside than he is. He'll fall down, get back up, and if the quarterback happens to still have the ball, then he'll make a play. That's just his vibe. He's got 4 sacks based on that stuff. You got to run guys like that out. That's how you got to do it. Guys with speed rush, you got to run them past the quarterback and let the quarterback step up. Right.
Wiley just doesn't seem to get in position, so a speed rusher is going to eat him up all day. Lucas, a little bit more of a vet. I think he's stronger. He looks stronger, and I think that if you can get a speed rusher in your chest, in your shoulder range, and keep him there and just ride him out, you're fine.
Kidding. Yeah, exactly.
I don't think Wiley's got that in him.
Either does Evan Neal
this season.
Either does
Cornelius Lucas can.
Either does any of our guys off the couch that are playing either one of our tackles. Obviously, neither one of our teams have anybody who has the footwork necessary for the tackle position at this level. But there's other things. There's other things.
But that's the big matchup right there that I want to see is Thibodeau versus whoever we have playing at tackle, because that's going to determine a lot of the game right there.
And but the same side of the ball, dude. It's going to be your rushers, your 4 or 5 rushers that are going to do the same thing to our guys. And if Tyrod Taylor is playing quarterback, what do you think? Nothing's going to happen, dude. Nothing's going to happen.
We thought the same with Desmond Ridder. He still found a way to do a little bit. So I mean,
he threw the ball 47 times.
Desmond Ridder is young and ambitious, like Howell. Yeah. Tyrod Taylor is trying to outsmart you with limited physical resources at this point.
Marcus says, I agree with Phil. Charles Leno and Cornelius Lucas should be starting. I think Wiley got some pictures on Eric Bieniemy. That's why he's starting. So that's my matchup to watch too. If I'm the Giants, I don't even look at the left side, line him up against Andrew Wiley, nowhere else, and just go. Wiley is leading our team in pressures. We looked at this last week. I think he's given up some crazy amount of pressures. He's given up the most amount of sacks. He's just not it, man.
So therefore, I mean, are we getting to the predictions here? Because I think we're on prediction time.
Let me see if Dev has any other matchups he wants to talk about. Anything? Any other matchup you're looking for? Or we already kind of cover it.
Yeah. Well, I would like to see their tight end and our linebackers.
Darren Waller. Yeah.
I do want to see if Jamie Davis can make another play for us, because we all know Barton cannot, even though he had a pretty decent game.
Bro. We've scored 0 touchdowns in 205 minutes.
I'm gonna tell you what happens when you play Washington.
There's no offense to be worried about.
I'll tell you what happens when you play Washington. Things that are impossible become possible. It's like drugs, you know what I'm saying? They make your bad dreams good, sex better. You know what I'm saying? That's what Washington is. Washington is crack. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes everything.
You don't realize what I would do to be 3-3 right now, Dev.
Man. I mean, you're almost there. If you just let your quarterback get hit a few more times, you know what I'm saying, you can be just like us.
Oh, yeah.
I think that that's the matchups I kind of want to see. I mean, look, man, every game so far, whatever the team total sacks record was for what they had, they matched it every game. Like if you came into the season with 5 sacks all season, you got 5 in one game against us. If you had 9 sacks all season, you got 9 against us in one game. So whatever y'all have for the season in sacks, y'all gonna get all that in one game. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, anytime you have a bad offensive line, anyone can win. All it takes is a quarterback throwing an interception to a dude 5 yards in front of him.
Yeah,
and somehow we're still 3-3.
That has happened. That has happened. But we got blown out by the Bears, the teams we got blown out by. You know what I'm saying?
We have 5 sacks all season.
You're gonna have 5 Sunday then.
There you go.
The Bears came in something like that, and they matched their entire.
Everybody did. Every team we played at, Phil. Every team we played as. It wasn't just the Bears. Everybody we played. The Atlanta had 5 sacks all season. They got 5 in one game.
That's what we do. Okay, Mike, real quick.
The tackle get a sack on us, man.
we know you said your prediction without the score, but New York Giants win if.
New York Giants win if. I mean, how long we got here? New York Giants win if we force multiple turnovers.
Fair. Okay.
Multiple, 2 or more.
2 or more.
It could happen with the bad line. It could happen.
Yep.
That's because everything else is just baloney. Sure, Saquon can break a 50-yard run and get us in field position, and then we somehow get a touchdown. We can't score touchdowns, guys.
Man, the Giants, we outplayed the Giants probably the last 2 times we played y'all, and y'all won.
We can't score. Yeah, well, I mean, listen, teams that played to like equal levels of competition, 1 or 2 plays are going to determine the game, which is going to happen in this one. I'm 100%. It's going to be 1 or 2 plays, and I'm hoping those are the 1 or 2 turnovers that I'm talking about. Run Saquon Barkley. Neither quarterback is going to do anything downfield, so don't worry about anything going downfield. And it's going to be a low-scoring game. I'll take the Giants. I'm going to say they score 1 TD. That's 7. 3 field goals. 16 to like 10 or 11, something like that.
Okay, 16-10.
I mean, it's the best I can do.
We definitely score more than 10 or 11, I think.
It's the best I can do. Maybe we found something against the Bills, only scored 14 against us last week. I don't know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's just go in reverse order then. Dev, Washington wins if, and then just lay it. Before we go to the scores, let's just already go up there. Just at least on Fanatics and DraftKings, the spread right now is 2.5 for Washington. The over/under of 37.5. That is a very high number. Probably would take the under, but Dev, go ahead. What are you thinking?
I'm gonna go. Washington wins if we don't. I've said this I think every week. Don't turn it over.
We didn't last game, right?
Yeah, and we won. It's kind of a thing. When we turn it over, you lose. Who understands that math? I that's what I think.
Okay.
But I'll tell you what, I'll change it up this week. Whoever has the least amount of big plays will lose. We gotta prevent big plays, and that also seems to be how we're losing. We're losing the guys getting 5 catches and all of them being for touchdowns or some shit. We can't have Saquon Barkley run 5 times, gain only yards 5 times without 5 of them he's going for 40 yards. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't have some crazy stuff go down. Like no one catches a ball, but when they do, it's a touchdown. Yeah. We can't have that happen again. So just stop the big plays because, hey, if Daniel Jones does play, that's one thing he has in his back pocket, man. He can make some shit happen. I give him that. He has a little glitter in there somewhere. Vanilla Vic, they call him.
We got to talk about that picture, that Twitter picture of that dude doing the drop kick.
Booker T, that
was cold.
He's got a little what you call moxie in there somewhere,
Daniel Jones gets 79 yards rushing against Washington every single game. It does not matter.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is a Commander's killer, bro.
He is 5-1. I think he is against us.
I hate to say it.
He's got a neck injury. If this dude plays, they're never calling.
Man, every excuse in the world, y'all always get, but somehow every time they win.
They can't call design runs for him coming off a neck injury.
Man, they only had him to call design runs from before, and they still won.
Well, last year, he ran for like 800 yards on design runs because they kept him. They didn't want him throwing. This year, they weren't doing that, which is why we're sucking even worse, is because they're making him throw up behind a bad offensive line instead of running the ball more to protect them, and then he hurts his neck anyway. So now he has got a neck injury, and if he comes back, I highly doubt they're gonna run him out on these waggles or these bootlegs. But
he was the second leading rusher on the team with 200 yards, but those were not design runs, or were those him running for his life?
They were him running for his life.
Okay, fair. Got it.
I'm going to go. Are we already giving our score totals?
Yeah, go ahead, Dev. Get your score out.
Man, I said last year, man, the first game, I guess was the first game a tie or the second game?
First game.
Yeah, first game was a tie. I said, hey, man, I'm never picking us to beat these guys again until we beat them, man. I'm never going to pick us beating the Giants until we beat them.
All right.
Ever again, man. So I'm not going to pick us to lose either, so I'm going to go tie.
Okay.
I'm gonna go 17-17 tie, man. And that better not happen. I'm I think a 17-17 tie or the Giants win. I don't think we beat them, bro. And I'm gonna be pissed off because we've talked so much trash to the Giants too to not beat them ever. I mean, I've always been the guy.
Take $20, put it on a 17-17 tie.
Man,
because that's got to pay an exact score. That's got to pay.
Yeah. I'm telling you, man. If Washington's not going to beat these guys, I hope they do. I'm hoping in my bones they do. But look, dude, I don't know what our record has been against those guys in the last 4 or 5 meetings, man. But I feel like we haven't won any of them. And until you beat them, you got to. In the great words of Ric Flair, to beat the best. Woo! You got to beat the best. You know what I'm saying? You can't be the best if you don't beat the best.
There you go.
And that's why I've always said it, man. You got to beat them.
17-17 tie. Phil, what you got?
Well, luckily for us, the New York Giants are not the best. Not this year.
Not this year.
Not better last year. This year.
It wasn't last year.
That's right, Phil. You are correct, Phil.
But my key to this game is going to be I have this feeling. 2 feelings. We're playing a team that's going to have to beat us with the run in the Giants. Last week, we played a team that was supposed to beat us with the run, and we mitigated a lot of that. Bijan Robinson, all world, 7 yards
37.
total rushing?
Yep.
You almost had 100.
So, 5-man fronts were what did it. I see a lot of 5-man fronts in this game, and I think that's going to make things a little dicey for Tyrod Taylor against a team. If they try to drop back pass against the 5-man front, we can still get pressure with that too. You can let Jamin Davis kind of roam back there with Cam Curl, in that mid-range.
What's that fast guy y'all got? Y'all just drafted?
Jalen Wyatt?
Jalen Hyatt.
Excuse me.
Hyatt, yeah. That's what I'm saying. Go ahead and put three defensive backs on cover 3 or 3 deep.
You can run a 5-man front with 1 linebacker, Dev, and then
Hyatt
has 5
catches all season.
But all 5 of them went where?
From Tyrod Taylor.
No, one was like a 3-yarder. I know them because there's 5 of them. Like there was 2 deep. There was 2 pretty deep ones.
There you go. 7 for 120, Mike. 7 for 120.
Right. Yeah, that means almost everything he's taken.
No,
2 yards.
No.
He's 9 targets, 7 catches.
What's his
2
long?
of them were like for 40 each, and the others were
long as 58. Wow.
Yeah, long as 58. So that's half your whole thing
got
right
nobody
there.
58.
And then the other is 6 for 62, right? If you did the math. So, and then one of them is like, I know 2 or 3 of them are 2. One was a loss. It was like a negative 2-yard loss on some bullshit. Last week he had 2 catches, which were pretty good, like first down.
What's our pass defense rank?
I got it right.
Not
here.
great.
No, yeah. I'm just saying, man. Like the times we get in trouble is when we have 3 deeps.
Dude, this is amazing to see behind the curtain of other concerned fans of other franchises thinking that they're in trouble. No, and I'm like, wait a second. Do you know what you're going up against?
I've watched almost every Giants game too, man.
I'll put it this way, Mike. If it weren't a team that we always end up in these weird matchups with, it'd be a different story.
Right.
Then
we didn't play every year.
I picked us to beat the Bears by 2 touchdowns. So what do I know?
I had a 70-10.
Dev, we're ranked 20.
Dev thought we were going to put up 70 on the Bears, like the Dolphins.
Dev, we're ranked 29th in the NFL in points allowed and 29th in NFL in total yardage allowed. So the defense is not as good as it seems
and
to be.
First in sacks allowed.
I'm just saying, bro.
Now,
every time we've given up some deep stuff, it's been single high safety.
Back to my prediction. 1, I feel like we're gonna run some 5-man fronts. We're gonna mitigate Saquon like we did with Bijan Robinson. 2, I got this another weird feeling that the Giants kind of wasted their best defensive effort last week. They'll still be coming. They're going to come in confident. You should, if you're the Giants defense, you should come to this game feeling good about yourself. But you don't have as much desperation when you feel as good about yourself. And I think last week was desperation helping out. So I have 23-17 Washington.
Okay, fair.
It's gonna be a 1-score game, and here's what's gonna happen. It's gonna be late in the 4th. We'll have just taken the lead, and here comes Tyrod, and he's gonna drive him down to about the 40, 35, and then 4th and 10, and then we managed to bat the ball down and incomplete. It's gonna come down to that, people, because that's what it always does.
Very realistic. Very
Marcus has Washington 24, Giants 20. Ryan Elias joining us. Thanks, Ryan. Better late than never. Good to see you, bro. Redskins 17, Giants 13. For me to wrap it up, I have this as a very close game. I have this as a kind of like you guys. I know we're all talking about we always play down to the competition, or especially in the division games, they kind of always tend to level each other out. So I had this as
it's been pretty unlevel between the Giants. It's not live.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they win. The games have been relatively close. Right, They just win. Did
you catch the opening Sunday night division game against the Cowboys and the Giants?
I did not.
Did you see what this score of that game was?
Was that the 40-0 burger?
Oh yeah, y'all don't have the Giants. Y'all don't have the Giants number. Y'all don't have the Cowboys number. But y'all have Washington's number, dog. I mean,
sometimes it just works out like that.
Yeah, keep in mind again, division games. Look at us against Philly.
Yeah,
I have us beating Philly every time we play them too. Almost, I always pick us against Philly on that strength alone. I feel like it every time. Like I don't know how good they are. We always find a way to get them at least once a year. Giants not so much, bro.
Yeah, I think the Eagles game was an 8.5-point spread, and we took it down to the wire in overtime. But I have this
time of year Ron Rivera's teams turn it around.
Yeah, I have this as coming down to a field goal at the end of the game. So I have this 20-17 Washington. I think it's going to be a close game. Right under the under of 37.5. I got it right at 37. So might lay something on the under there.
Is Dotson place holding that kick, or is
I don't know, man. Just to recap the scores, we got Mike at 16-10, the Giants, Dev 17-17 tie. I got it at 20-17 Washington, Phil 23-17 Washington, Marcus 24-20 Washington, Ryan Elias 17-13 Redskins in his terminology.
I'm gonna be honest. If I end up right, y'all never gonna hit the end of this shit.
Ryan, for you.
I will say one more thing. This is the Giants' first 1:00 home game of the season.
That's crazy.
Right. So
so they'll win by 40.
So I don't know what the difference in things are.
Mike, we were supposed to beat the Bears, and then Dick Butkus dies right before the game.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Exactly.
Rest in peace, Dick Butkus. Straight
Everybody,
up.
Garfield Sims.
Sunday.
Guard Lawrence Taylor. Don't let nothing happen to him, Lord. We don't need the ghost of Lawrence Taylor out there.
We'll just wait. We'll wait for a bigger leverage game to
Who's
kill.
Died is the Giants so far, man.
Oh my goodness. All right, we'll bring in the post-football music here.
Thomas Millen just threw up a neat prediction.
What do you got? Thomas Millen says, "Oh, I gotta write these down because if someone gets it, man, we'll get you a prize here."
Thomas Millen.
Oh my gosh, 31.
You make me turn off the TV if that's a score.
31-10 Washington. Thomas Millen.
I hope so, but I don't think that's going to be it.
Forbes has a pick if he plays. Not sure if he'll get the.
No, he's going to play. He's supposed to play.
We shall see.
He's supposed to start back again. Well, not start and play his normal position.
Yeah, hope so. Okay, so Mike, I know you have some ventures you want to tell us about. What can you tell us about this new venture you got going on here.
All right, so hope you
Oh,
clip
man.
this, send it to me because we're going to use this as part of content for advertising for what we're
Let's
going to
go.
do. Because you guys are going to love this. Can I ask you guys a question? Can we raise our hands if we have kids?
I have an adult kid, so
Whatever. Does your adult kid have a potential kid? Anyway,
I hope not.
I have
He's
3
18.
boys. I have 3 boys.
Me too.
You have 3 boys?
4, 6, and 8.
Amazing. Okay, so I'm gonna be sending you some stuff, but so I'll send everything you guys. We'll talk. But so when Saquon Barkley was drafted on April, I think it was April 28th, 2018. I have my little guys in the room, whatever. Giants had the second pick that year, and he gets drafted, and my son goes, and I have the video of this. It's amazing, and this is part of what I use as my pitch when I'm doing this new project. He goes, Dad, we should call Saquon Barkley Saquon Broccoli because he's good for you. Because we make our kids eat vegetables and like have broccoli, whatever, right? We should call him Saquon Broccoli. I was like, oh, that's funny. And I have this video of him saying it's so cute. I'm like, that's funny, dude. And like we didn't think anything of it. This was 5 years ago. So ever since then, for 5 years, anytime a player, any sport, anybody sounds like a food of some sort, we're like, oh, that's Steve Lime, right? Or like, like whatever. Like we changed, kind of tweaked the name to it sounds like a food. And then last year, I'm like, you know what, dude? Like when NFTs started popping and we'd collect cards, I'm like, we should think about this. So long story short, we now have over 200 athletes and celebrities and influencer people whose names kind of go with food. And we've created a whole business plan around this. And look at this.
Grocery Stars.
Saquon Broccoli.
That's right.
It's called Grocery Stars, and there's Saquon Broccoli. We have all different, shirts and merch. What happened?
I need a teriyaki McLaurin.
So Terry McLaurin, we have Cherry McLaurin because the colors go well. So we'll have him as a cherry in a Commander's uniform. We have a bunch. It's endless, right? So basically, what we're doing is we're making this big business around these guys. And right now, we're starting as shirts because it's easy. Because like Shopify, we can just print on demand for free. So the Shopify store is live, grocerystars.com. We have 15 players right now that you can buy shirts. We don't have any Commanders.
Okay.
Yet. The artist has to make them and it takes a little while, but we have 15 football. We started with football this fall and we're going to go to basketball next week. When the Knicks launch, we got RJ Carrot coming out for the Knicks. We have Shaquille Oatmeal going out for Shaq. So there's like a lot of awesome, they're really funny and they resonate with the 6, 8 and 10-year-old big time. I've been sending them to some influencers and some kids and everyone's like, these are great. So we're figuring out how to grow this business, how to potentially take an investment or give it to someone. So I'll absolutely send you, Steve, the Cherry McLaurins for your kids.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
Yeah, it's just like his head's a thing of cherries or whatever.
So it's going to be grocerystars.com.
Grocerystars.com, yeah,
okay.
And that's like a link to where you can buy all the t-shirts.
Okay.
And we have like onesies for babies, like all the stuff, tank tops, hoodies, whatever.
Fantastic.
My son wore the Saquon Broccoli hoodie to school today.
Yeah.
He's like, Dad, we need 10 of these. Everyone wants them.
Nice. I guess the possibilities are endless. You just got to find the names that
tremendous opportunity for sure.
And it's everything. We're going to go to music and actors and influencers. And then the idea is to have you come to the site, potentially have like an AI generator who just generates your food name. And then you can just go and buy it right there like yourself. Like you don't even have to be a celebrity, right? You just
awesome.
You just come and then like anybody can go on there and we have to generate the food name. Right now it's all coming from my brain, but the kids are thinking of them. And it's because of, it's a business that my kids kind of are involved in. So I want to show them like that you can you can do like entrepreneurial type of things, like just like you guys are doing with doing like a podcast and keeping the consistency of this. You're showing your kids you're doing that stuff. I think it's important for them psychologically to like understand you can do more than just be like a desk job or something, or like a
yeah, absolutely. And among other things that you're working too, let's not forget that you also wrote a children's book.
Yeah,
Good night,
Canton. It's called Good Night Canton, about the Football Hall of Fame, and we have Good Night Cooperstown about Baseball Hall of Fame, because you guys know Good Night Moon.
Good Night Canton. You can see I purchased it September 15th, 2020, 2021 for my boys as well. Great book. We Good Night book, so it's actually when this one just flowed very well with us. So highly recommend the Good Night Canton, Good Night Cooperstown.
What when you flip the pages of Good Night Canton, it's not it has one line. It is one line per page. It's very simple, but there's a story behind every one of them, right? Yeah. So if you go to like the page that says Barry Sanders Jukes, you're gonna stop and you're gonna tell your kid about how great Barry Sanders was for 60 seconds, right? Yeah. If you're gonna say whatever the other ones are, you're going to stop and explain what that line is. So that's what I feel like it's cool for.
That's good stuff.
We have Goodnight Springfield. I have it written about the Basketball Hall of Fame. It's just that we're figuring out what we want to do with it, because these two books were good. They weren't great. They cost me money. It's not like I'm making money on them.
Right.
More like but I'm thinking like the third one, if I can get someone's attention, maybe I can actually have it done a little more properly.
Yeah. Mike Thomas Millen says, have a great night, everyone. Hope you have a long evening Sunday, Mike.
Luckily, it's a 1:00 game, so by 4:30, I can be lacing it up like Phil and getting ready for the late.
There you go. He says New Jersey Giants are going down, man. Is it a geographical split?
East Rutherford Giants.
Is it, Giants versus Jets, Yankees versus Mets? Is that like a geography thing, or it's really like a culture, how you were raised sort of thing?
Okay, so the way this happens is the Mets are in Queens, which is kind of like.
Shout out Thomas Millen. Good job. Pick a book up.
Cool, thank you, Tom. So the Mets are from Queens, which is basically like borderline Long Island, like on the way out to Long Island. And when the Jets were, first formed or whatever, they had their training camp on Long Island, where the Giants had their training camp in Albany. So that's how that whole kind of area of Queens, Long Island-ish became Jet fans. And then the Jets won the Super Bowl. And that just instantly made random fans Jet fans, right? When you they won Super Bowl III, so that really helped.
Well, I imagine that the Jets playing at Shea for many years also probably brought in a lot of the people. I always thought that because there's always Queens, Long Island seemed to be Jets fans, because I know their training camp was at Hofstra, right?
Yep,
out
exactly.
In Long Island. Shout out to Hofstra. I almost went there for college, but I always noticed that it's like Manhattan, Bronx, Yankees, Giants.
Yep.
Queens, Long Island.
Well, and the Giants, where the Giants play, Yankee Stadium.
Yeah.
So that's the same. So that's the same thing. And listen, the Yankees and the Giants have been here for 100 years before the Mets and the Jets even existed on the planet. So
most Mets fans are like.
You want to see where the most divided loyalties are, by the way? Go to Staten Island.
Don't go to Staten Island. No one has to go to Staten Island.
I had a conversation with one famous resident of Staten Island, Method Man. He's a Jets fan. And I was a little shocked.
Yes, he is a Jets fan.
He's a huge Jets fan.
Yeah, he's a Jets fan. I actually sat down. I'll tweet it to you guys. I sat down with Wu-Tang, not Method Man, because he's too big for his britches. We sat down around the table. Me, RZA, you, God, Inspector Deck. I was at a table having breakfast with them.
The neighborhood spider, man.
Video, and we talked about, literally, this is the conversation we had. I'm serious. It's a 45-second conversation with Wu-Tang in my life, and the conversation was the divide of New York fans.
That's crazy.
And it was Giants, Knicks, Rangers, Yankees, because they're like the old school, and then it was Jets, Mets, Nets, Islanders, because the New York Islanders, like everything is kind of that way. It was the Brooklyn Nets. Well, they came from Jersey. They were kind of like the stepchild. So it's me and Inspect the Deck across the table talking about this exact conversation, which is funny. You bring up Method Man.
I could believe that. I can believe it.
That's awesome. Mike, where can everyone listening find you out on the socials or anything else you want to plug?
Everything is Team Vivalo.
Okay.
Everything is at Team Vivalo. But if you want to do at Grocery Stars too, that's cool. Twitter is Grocery Star.
Yeah, it's at Grocery Stars. I checked that out earlier.
I think Twitter, there might be an underscore in there.
We'll put it in the description as well.
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, Twitter has an underscore. Grocery
stars. Yeah, got it.
And Instagram is just straight up Grocery Stars.
Okay.
Check it out. And Steve, I'll text you later about.
We'll talk afterwards.
But so what are your kids? What are your teams?
So we're all DC sports fans. So Commanders, Nationals, Wizards, Capitals, DC United. So if it's a DC team, that's what we go to. We live in the area.
Alex Ovechkin. I can use an Ovechkin food name.
Yeah.
What does Ovechkin sound like?
Ovechkin. That's Russian. So
Ovechkin. Alex Ovechkin. It's not Alexander. Alex Ovechkin.
Who is Alexander?
Yeah.
Usually, but the last name is so unique that you could probably have a food that sounds like Ovechkin.
Yeah.
I got Russian dishes.
You gotta find like some sort of Russian
potato skin. You know, like you got to think of it like almost phonetically, like what it sounds like, rather than what it's like spelled like.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to think about that one
because that's a
big one.
He's the guy.
You gotta have like couscous instead of Kuzma. On how you
couscous.
Yeah, exactly.
Couscous.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing is, Dev, that like the magic is getting it that works, but also the magic is getting the superstars.
Yeah,
because you know we can have like I have Bobby O'Carrot cake for Bobby O'Carrot cake. Yeah, and like that's cool among Giant fans, but
nobody knows what it is.
About like our linebacker who's going to be here for 2 years. Like you know who cares about a Yankee from 1998 that just sounds funny? Sounds like a food. The key is to find those superstars.
Yeah. We kind of have a shortage of those in this area now that everyone's leaving. We have Bryce Harper. We had the big names in
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper was a good one.
Bryce Harper's gonna be good for the Phillies.
There you go. Okay. Marcus says, see you later, family. Nice to meet you, Mike. You're welcome to promote your products and things in the sports group. Sports View too. Like I said, Marcus will share everything. So find him on Facebook.
I can send it on Facebook, and I'm telling you, I make that nickname for Marcus, hardest working man on Facebook. I'm not kidding you, because I actually have it to where I receive an alert every time he posts something, and it's like 10, 12, 14 times a day. Sometimes he's promoting something for somebody.
You gotta do it, man.
Yeah, he is he is a guy that will get your name out there for sure.
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, Trey Bryce. Yeah, we lost all the good ones, man, for the Nationals.
Trey Turnip.
Trey Turnip. Oh yeah, Trey Turnip.
Trey Turnip.
Yeah, Max Scherzinger would have been a good one. Steven Strasburg, I'm sure there's probably all kinds. You did Joe Strawborough, if I'm not mistaken.
I did.
Strawborough, so that's a good one too. Man. All right. Well, Mike, thank you so much for joining us. Really appreciate it. Stick around after this for a couple seconds, and then we'll chat when this is over. But thank you for those who tuned into the show. You can find this on any of your audio podcast platforms and on YouTube. Please hit that like and subscribe button. Thomas, Marcus, Dave, Ryan, Slim for tuning in. Yam from Japan. Thank you very much. Should be a fun game on Sunday versus the Giants. We put our predictions in the chat. Looks like we're sitting at Mike being the only one to pick the Giants. Last week I picked Atlanta to win, so I think that was good juju for us.
I don't pick against the
Dev picked a tie. So
Dev picked a tie, so I guess we're even.
I didn't see that coming, Dev. That's funny.
That's fair. But okay, guys, we'll see you. Please be tuned in for the live game thread on Sunday in the Facebook group. And then we'll see you Monday, 8:30 p.m. for the post-game live stream, and we'll see how it goes. Mike, thanks again, sir. We appreciate your time, and good luck to you guys on Sunday.
Same, man. Thank you so much.
Yep. All right. As always, peace. Inhale. We out.